I'm only dating you till my ex gets jealous, she admitted, 3 months in. I said, what a coincidence. Then I started dating her best friend. Everyone got what they wanted, just not how they expected. All right, Reddit, strap in because this story has more plot twists than a soap opera, and I'm still processing how it all went down. 3 months into what I thought was a decent relationship, my girlfriend drops the bomb that she's been using me as a jealousy prop for her ex. So naturally, I decided to give everyone exactly what they wanted, just not in the way they expected. I'm Jake, 28 male, work as a project coordinator for a construction company in Denver. Nothing flashy, but the pay's solid, and I've been saving up to buy my own place. Started in the industry right out of community college, worked my way up from being a runner on job sites to actually coordinating entire projects. The company handles everything from residential developments to commercial builds, and I'm the guy making sure materials show up when they're supposed to, and subcontractors don't bail on us. Most days I'm juggling spreadsheets, putting out fires when suppliers mess up orders, and explaining to clients why their custom changes will delay the timeline. It's not glamorous work, but there's something satisfying about seeing a building go from blueprints to reality because you kept all the pieces moving. I'm the kind of guy who shows up on time, pays his bills, and doesn't cause drama. My apartment's clean, my truck runs, and I've got a decent savings account going. Never been the type to live beyond my means or make impulsive decisions. My idea of a wild Friday night is ordering pizza and playing video games with my buddies while arguing about which Call of Duty map is superior. My dad raised me to be practical after watching too many of his friends make stupid financial decisions and pay for it later. Jake, he'd tell me, flash and trash go together. Build something real instead. So I did. Nothing exciting, but solid. My best friend Connor has known me since high school. Guy's a software developer who works from home and has absolutely zero filter when it comes to calling out nonsense. He's saved me from multiple bad decisions over the years, usually by pointing out obvious red flags I was too optimistic to notice. He's the friend who'll tell you your haircut looks bad before you leave the house, your girlfriend's sketchy before you waste too much time, and your life choices need work when nobody else will. We met sophomore year when we got paired for a history project. He did all the research while I organized it into something coherent, and we've been balancing each other out ever since. Connor sees the world in black and white, no gray area. I tend to give people benefit of the doubt to a fault. Together, we make one functional human being. Dude, you're too nice, he told me once, after I got burned by a girl who borrowed $200 and ghosted me. You see the best in people even when they're showing you their worst? He wasn't wrong. I'd always been the type to give people the benefit of the doubt, assume good intentions, and try to make things work. Turns out that's a great way to get used as a stepping stone. I met Natalie, 26 female, at a mutual friend's barbecue back in May. She worked in marketing for some tech startup downtown, always looked put together, and had this energy that made her the center of attention wherever she went. The kind of woman who could walk into a room and immediately have people gravitating toward her. Our mutual friend Brandon had invited both of us to his housewarming. I almost didn't go because I had a project deadline Monday, but Connor convinced me I needed to actually have a social life. Dude, you can't just work and game. That's not living. That's existing. So I showed up with a six-pack and low expectations. Natalie was holding court on the back patio, telling some story that had everyone laughing. She had this way of gesturing when she talked, making everything seem more dramatic and interesting than it probably was. We got introduced when I was grabbing food from the grill. Brandon pulled me over with that obvious matchmaker energy. Jake, this is Natalie. Natalie, Jake's the guy I told you about who actually has his life together. Low bar, I joked. She laughed, and it was this full, genuine sound that made me want to hear it again. Brandon said you work in construction. That must be interesting. Project coordination, so less building and more paperwork. But yeah, it has its moments. We ended up talking for 2 hours, long after most people had left. She was funny, quick with comebacks, and seemed genuinely interested when I talked about work. I told her about this nightmare project where the electrical contractor quit mid-job and we had to scramble to find a replacement. She told me about a client who wanted to rebrand their entire company but didn't want to change anything about their logo, colors, or messaging. So they wanted to rebrand without actually branding, I said. Exactly. You get it. We exchanged numbers before leaving. She texted me the next day, which was a good sign. Most people say they'll text and then ghost. We set up coffee for that Thursday. Our first few dates were great. She laughed at my jokes, seemed interested in my work stories, and we had decent chemistry. Nothing earth-shattering, but comfortable. She'd text me good morning, send me funny memes during the day, and actually seemed excited to see me. After about 3 weeks of regular dates, coffee shops, movies, a farmer's market where we both agreed everything was overpriced, but bought stuff anyway, we had the "what are we doing" conversation. She brought it up over dinner at this Thai place near her apartment. So I've been thinking, she started, and I braced myself because that phrase never leads anywhere good. I really like hanging out with you. Want to make this official? Relief washed over me. Yeah, I'd like that. Boyfriend and girlfriend official? Works for me. She smiled and pulled out her phone, immediately updating her relationship status. I should have paid more attention to how quickly she documented everything for public consumption, but I was just happy to have a girlfriend who seemed normal. Looking back, there were signs I missed. She'd check her phone constantly during dates, always angling for the perfect Instagram shot instead of just enjoying the moment. We'd go to brunch and she'd rearrange the plates 3 times to get the best angle, adjust the lighting with her phone, take 15 photos before we could actually eat. Why can't we just eat? I asked once, after watching her photograph avocado toast for 5 minutes. Because content, babe. If you don't document it, did it even happen? She'd steer conversations toward her ex, Daniel, pretty frequently, talking about how he couldn't handle a real woman and how she was so over him. Whenever we'd hang out with her friends, Daniel would come up at least 3 times. How he was immature, how he didn't appreciate her, how she dodged a bullet. When someone talks that much about being over their ex, they're definitely not over their ex. But I was in that early relationship fog where you ignore the obvious because you want things to work out. Plus, I figured everyone has relationship baggage. Who was I to judge? The Daniel mentions increased over time. At first, it was once a week, then multiple times during each hangout. She'd see something that reminded her of him and launch into a story. We'd pass a restaurant, and she'd mention how Daniel took her there once and ordered for her without asking what she wanted. We'd see a movie, and she'd comment that Daniel would have hated it because he only liked action films. Connor picked up on it immediately. Why's your girlfriend talking about her ex more than she talks about you? He asked after meeting her the second time. She's just processing the breakup, I defended. Bro, they broke up before you met her. How long does processing take? I didn't have a good answer for that. Natalie had this friend group she was super tight with, all women in their mid-20s who worked in marketing or social media. They'd meet up twice a week minimum, posting endless Instagram stories of their adventures. Her best friend Emma, 27 female, was around constantly, often third-wheeling with us. Emma was different from the rest of the group, quieter, less performative, worked as a graphic designer for a small firm. She had this dry sense of humor that actually made me laugh. While the others were obsessed with appearances and perception, Emma seemed more interested in actual conversations. She'd ask me questions about my job and remember the details. How'd that electrical situation turn out? She'd follow up a week later. Or, did your client finally approve the design changes? Little things that showed she was actually listening. The third wheeling became so common that I stopped noticing. Emma would join us for dinner, movies, weekend hiking trips. Natalie never seemed bothered by it, which should have been another red flag. What girlfriend wants her friend constantly around during couple time? Connor met both of them at a group hangout about a month in. We'd all gone to this new arcade bar downtown, the kind with vintage games and overpriced craft drinks. Natalie spent the whole time taking photos and videos for her Instagram story, barely playing any games. Emma actually played skee ball with Connor and me, talking smack and genuinely having fun. Afterward, Connor pulled me aside in the parking lot with his signature concerned look. Bro, your girlfriend barely looks at you when you're talking. She's too busy scanning the room to see who's watching her. She's just social, I defended. Extroverted. There's extroverted, and then there's performing. She's performing. And that Emma girl? She actually listens when you talk. Just saying. I brushed it off at the time. Connor was being overprotective, reading too much into things. Natalie and I were fine. We had our routine, our inside jokes, our Sunday brunch tradition. That counted for something. The relationship had this weird dynamic where everything felt slightly off but not enough to call it out. We'd go to nice restaurants, and she'd spend half the dinner taking photos of her food from different angles. I'd be mid-sentence telling a story, and she'd interrupt with, wait, hold that thought, while she adjusted the lighting on a shot. We'd watch movies, and she'd live tweet the whole thing instead of actually watching. During conversations, I'd catch her eyes glazing over when I talked about my day. She'd nod in the right places, make appropriate sounds, but I could tell she wasn't actually processing anything I said. How was your day? Became this routine we'd go through, where I'd give her the highlights, and she'd respond with generic comments. That's crazy. Or, I can't believe that happened, without any specific follow-up questions. Meanwhile, when she talked about her day, she'd expect detailed reactions and specific feedback. One time, I tried an experiment. I told her I was thinking about quitting my job to become a professional yo-yo competitor. She just nodded and said, "That's cool, babe," without looking up from her phone. Connor found this hilarious when I told him, "Your girlfriend doesn't even listen to the words you're saying. She's just waiting for sounds to stop coming from your direction." But she was attractive, fun at parties, and having a girlfriend was better than being single, right? That's what I told myself anyway. The bar was apparently underground. We'd been dating about 2 months when she started mentioning couples activities other people were doing. How her co-worker's boyfriend surprised her with a weekend trip. How her friend's boyfriend took her to this fancy restaurant for no reason. How Daniel used to plan these elaborate dates. "We should do more spontaneous stuff," she said one Sunday while we were having our usual brunch. "Like what?" "I don't know. That's kind of the point of spontaneous. Just not the same thing every week, you know?" I tried mixing it up after that. Suggested a concert, a pottery class, even a hot air balloon ride. She'd agree initially, but then find reasons why each option wouldn't work. Too expensive, wrong day, not her style. But she'd keep mentioning how other boyfriends were more creative. The double standard didn't occur to me at the time. She wanted me to plan exciting surprises, but would shoot down every suggestion I made that actually required effort or money. She wanted Instagram-worthy experiences without the work of making them happen. Emma picked up on it. She was with us one Saturday when Natalie was complaining about how boring our weekends were. "You know, Jake suggested that hiking trail with the waterfall last week, and you said you didn't want to wake up early," Emma pointed out casually. Natalie shot her a look. "That's different. I meant actually fun things, not just walking through nature getting sweaty." Emma didn't push it, but I caught her giving me this sympathetic glance that said she understood exactly what was happening. 3 months in, everything changed on what should have been a normal Tuesday night. We were at her apartment, supposed to be having a chill evening watching some new series everyone was talking about. I'd picked up Thai food on the way over, her favorite pad Thai with extra peanuts. We were about 20 minutes into the show when her phone buzzed. She grabbed it immediately, face lighting up as she read whatever message came through. Then her expression shifted to something calculating. She stared at her phone for a long moment before setting it down with this satisfied smirk. "Everything okay?" I asked. "Yeah, perfect, actually." She paused the show and turned to face me with this weird intensity. "Jake, can I be real with you about something?" My stomach dropped. Nothing good ever follows that question. "Sure, go ahead." She took a breath like she was about to deliver difficult news. "I need to be honest because you've been really sweet, and you deserve to know the truth." Another pause for dramatic effect. "I'm only dating you until my ex gets jealous enough to want me back." I just stared at her, trying to process what I'd just heard. "I'm sorry." "What?" "Daniel and I broke up 3 months ago, and I know he still has feelings for me. He just needs to see me happy with someone else to realize what he lost. Once he reaches out, we'll probably get back together." She said this like she was explaining a totally reasonable plan. "But don't worry, we can stay friends after. You're a great guy." The casual way she delivered this information was almost impressive. Like she'd just told me she was switching gym memberships, not that our entire relationship was a manipulation tactic. "So this whole time," I said slowly, "you've been using me to make your ex jealous." "I wouldn't say using, more like strategic positioning." She actually smiled. "And it's working. Daniel's been watching all my stories and he liked that photo of us from last weekend. He's definitely noticing." I nodded, taking this in. Part of me wanted to blow up, demand answers, make a scene, but a weird calm settled over me instead. "Interesting. You're taking this really well," she said, looking almost disappointed by my lack of drama. "I was worried you'd be upset." "Oh, I have feelings about it," I said, "but I appreciate the honesty. Speaking of honesty, I should probably be honest with you too." Her expression shifted to curiosity. "About what?" "What a coincidence," I said. "I'm only dating you until someone better comes along." The smile dropped off her face. "Excuse me?" "Yeah, you're attractive and all, but I've been keeping my options open. Didn't think we were that serious." I stood up and grabbed my jacket. "Sounds like we're on the same page about this relationship being temporary. Good luck with Daniel." I walked toward the door while she sat there processing, mouth slightly open. "Wait, you're leaving?" Just like that? I turned back. "You just told me you're planning to dump me for your ex. Why would I stick around? This is me being efficient." "But I thought we could still hang out until Daniel and I actually get back together." The entitlement was breathtaking. "Hard pass. Have a good night, Natalie." I left her apartment and immediately called Connor. He answered on the first ring. "You sound different. What happened?" Natalie just told me she's only been dating me to make her ex jealous. Dead silence. Then, I freaking knew it. That manipulative little gets better. She expected me to just be cool with it and keep dating her until her ex takes her back. Please tell me you told her where to go. Walked out mid-conversation. I'm heading to your place. Got leftover Thai food and a need to play something violent. Doors unlocked. I'll fire up Call of Duty. I spent the rest of the evening at Connor's, alternating between shooting virtual enemies and processing what just happened. The betrayal stung less than I expected. Maybe because on some level I'd known things felt off. Connor's assessment was blunt but accurate. She's trash, bro. But here's the thing. You dodged a bullet. Imagine if you'd found this out 6 months in, or a year. She did you a favor showing her true colors early. Fair point. Also, I'm just saying Emma's single, and she actually treats you like a human being instead of a prop. I laughed it off at the time. Dude, I just got out of a relationship like 2 hours ago. Not a relationship, a scam. There's a difference. The next morning, I woke up to a barrage of texts from Natalie. The messages evolved from confused to angry to manipulative over the course of the night. 2:47 a.m. I don't understand why you're being so dramatic about this. 3:15 a.m. I was being honest with you and this is how you react. 4:02 a.m. You're really going to throw away what we have over nothing? 8:23 a.m. Fine. You're not even that great anyway. Daniel is way better than you. I didn't respond to any of them. What was there to say? She'd been clear about her intentions, and I'd been clear about mine. We were done. But then Emma texted me around noon. Hey, Natalie told me what happened. I'm really sorry. That was messed up of her. You doing okay? I appreciated the check-in. Emma had always been kind. The only one in Natalie's friend group who seemed to have a genuine personality instead of a curated social media persona. She never treated conversations like performance art or acted like every interaction needed to be documented for public consumption. I'm good. It was only 3 months, not like we were serious. Still sucks, though. Want to grab coffee this week? As friends? You seemed like good company the times we all hung out. Something about the invitation felt different than usual friend hangouts. But I agreed. We set something up for Thursday at this place near her office. I mentioned it to Connor that night while we were gaming. He immediately paused the match, which was unusual. Connor never pauses during ranked matches. Wait, Emma asked you out for coffee? As friends. She felt bad about what happened. Dude, he was grinning like he'd won the game. She's been waiting for this. I guarantee you she's had a thing for you since day one. You're reading too much into it. Am I? Let's review the facts. She was always around when you and Natalie hung out. She actually paid attention when you talked instead of checking her phone every 5 seconds. She remembered details about your job and followed up on things you mentioned. She defended you when Natalie was being dismissive. I paused, thinking back through our interactions. Emma had asked about the electrical contractor situation 3 different times over a month, remembering details I'd forgotten I'd told her. She'd brought Connor and me drinks when we were playing arcade games while Natalie was busy photographing herself. She'd laughed at my dumb jokes and contributed her own instead of just waiting for her turn to talk. Okay, maybe, but she's Natalie's best friend. That's complicated. Connor shrugged and unpaused the game. Natalie used you as a pawn in her game to get her ex back. You don't owe her any loyalty. And honestly, going out with her best friend would be the perfect karma. That seems petty. Sometimes petty is appropriate. Besides, if you actually like Emma and she likes you, why should Natalie's nonsense stop you from seeing where it goes? She didn't care about your feelings when she was using you as bait. He had a point. Natalie had been so casual about her manipulation, so unconcerned with how it might affect me. Why should I structure my dating life around her comfort when she'd shown zero consideration for mine? I'll see how coffee goes, I said finally. That's my boy. Just be yourself. Emma already likes you. She's seen you at your most normal and stuck around anyway. Wednesday night, I got another barrage of texts from Natalie. They'd evolved from angry to desperate. Can we please talk about this like adults? I made a mistake, but you're being so cold. Daniel doesn't even matter anymore. I realize that now. I miss you. Please respond. I didn't. What was there to say? She'd been clear about her intentions, and I'd been clear about mine. The relationship was done, and her sudden change of heart didn't change what she'd already revealed about her character. Thursday afternoon, I met Emma at the coffee shop. She showed up in jeans and a casual sweater, hair pulled back in a ponytail, no Instagram-ready outfit or full face of makeup. She looked comfortable, real, normal human being running errands on a Thursday, not fashion show contestant grabbing coffee. We ordered. She got some complicated latte with extra foam. I got regular coffee because I'm boring, and grabbed a table by the window. The conversation flowed easily right from the start, jumping from work stories to hobbies to bad movies we'd watched recently. She had this way of making everything feel natural, no forced energy or performance. I need to apologize, Emma said about 20 minutes in. I should have told you what Natalie was doing. I knew about Daniel, knew she was trying to make him jealous. It wasn't fair to you. I appreciated the honesty. You knew the whole time. Not at first. But about a month in, she told me her whole plan. I told her it was messed up, that she should either give the relationship with you a real shot or let you go. She said I didn't understand her situation. Did Daniel ever reach out to her? Emma laughed, but not in a mean way. No. He's been dating someone new for like 2 months. She just refuses to believe it's serious. The irony was perfect. Natalie had used me as a prop in a play where the audience didn't even care she existed. That's almost sad, I admitted. It would be if she hadn't been so casual about using you. I felt terrible watching it happen. Emma looked down at her coffee. I almost said something to you a few times, but I didn't want to overstep. I figured you'd see through it eventually. Connor called it from day one. Connor's smart. I liked him at that group hangout. No filter, but in a good way. We talked for 2 hours, losing track of time completely. When we finally left, Emma walked me to my car. This was fun, she said. We should do it again sometime. Assuming that's not weird with the Natalie situation. Natalie made her choices. I'm making mine. I paused, then decided to just go for it. Want to get dinner this weekend? Actual dinner? Like a date. Emma smiled, and it was genuine. No performance, no calculated response. I'd like that. Saturday at 7? It's a date. I drove home feeling lighter than I had in months. Not because of any revenge plot or desire to hurt Natalie, but because I'd actually connected with someone who seemed to see me as a person instead of a tool. When I told Connor about it later that night, he was insufferable. I freaking called it! I told you Emma was into you. You're way too excited about this. Because you're finally making good decisions. And because the universe is delivering perfect karma to your ex. She used you to make her ex jealous. Now you're dating her best friend. That's beautiful symmetry. I hadn't thought about it that way. You think Emma's into me or just being nice? Dude, she asked to hang out after finding out about Natalie's BS. Spent 2 hours talking to you and said yes to a date. Connect the dots. Saturday arrived, and I found myself actually nervous getting ready. I'd picked a nice Italian place that wasn't too fancy, but had good reviews. Showed up 5 minutes early and waited outside. Emma arrived right on time, wearing a dark blue dress that was elegant without trying too hard. She smiled when she saw me, and we headed inside. The date was easy. We talked about everything and nothing, shared an appetizer, laughed at the same weird observations about people around us. She told me about her graphic design work, about the clients who couldn't explain what they wanted but definitely knew when you got it wrong. Last month, a client asked for something modern and edgy, but also classic and timeless, she said, doing an exaggerated, confused face. I sent back 3 completely different concepts, and he picked the most boring one. That's every client meeting at my company. They want it fast, cheap, and perfect. Pick 2. Exactly. Over dessert, she brought up the elephant in the room. I should mention, Natalie's been texting me nonstop since Thursday. She found out we got coffee. How'd she find out? I told her. Figured honesty was better than her finding out through social media or something. How'd she take it? Emma laughed. Not well. Lots of messages about betrayal and girl code and how I'm the worst friend ever. I reminded her that she used you as a pawn and had no room to talk about loyalty. She didn't have much to say after that. Sorry you're dealing with her drama. Don't be. I've been questioning our friendship for a while now. This just confirmed what I already knew. She only cares about people when they're useful to her. The honesty was refreshing. Emma wasn't playing games or managing perceptions. She was just being real. After dinner, we walked around downtown for a bit, ending up at a park with a decent view of the city lights. We sat on a bench and talked for another hour about nothing important. This was really nice, Emma said eventually. Like, actually nice. Not performing for social media or trying to impress anyone, just hanging out. That's the bar? Just hanging out like normal humans. She laughed. You'd be surprised how rare that is these days. I drove her home, walked her to her door like some old-fashioned gentleman, and we agreed to do it again soon. No forced kiss, no pressure, just a genuine connection that felt right. On my way home, Connor called. How'd it go? Really good, actually. Like, surprisingly good. I'm happy for you, man. You deserve someone who actually appreciates you instead of using you as a plot device in their ex drama. The next morning, I woke up to a series of texts from Natalie. They'd come in around 2 a.m. I can't believe you do this to me. You're dating Emma to hurt me. This is so messed up. Daniel is going to think I can't keep friends or boyfriends. You need to stop seeing her. I stared at the messages for a moment, then replied, We broke up because you told me you were using me to make your ex jealous. Who I date now isn't your business. Her response was immediate. Girl code exists. You can't date your ex's best friend. I typed back, Pretty sure girl code also says you shouldn't use your boyfriend as bait for your ex. But here we are. She tried calling 3 times. I ignored all of them. Emma texted around noon. Natalie showed up at my apartment this morning. It was dramatic. You okay? Yeah, I'm fine. She yelled about betrayal for like 10 minutes while I just stood there. Eventually, she ran out of steam and left. I think we're officially not friends anymore. Sorry. Don't be. She's been a toxic friend for years. This is honestly a relief. Over the next few weeks, Emma and I kept seeing each other. We'd grab dinner, watch movies at my place, go hiking on weekends. It was easy in a way my relationship with Natalie never was. No performance, no games, just 2 people who enjoyed each other's company. Connor met up with us for game night one Friday, and the 3 of us fell into this natural rhythm. Emma held her own at Mario Kart and talked smack with the best of us. I like her, Connor told me later when Emma stepped out to take a call. She's real. Not like your ex who treated everyone like NPCs in her life story. About a month into dating Emma, the drama escalated in the most predictable way possible. Natalie had apparently been stalking both our social media accounts obsessively. Emma had posted a photo of us at a concert, just a casual shot but clearly together. Within an hour, Natalie had posted her own photo, with Daniel. The caption read, When you realize you've been waiting for the right person all along, with a bunch of heart emojis. Emma showed me on her phone, trying not to laugh. She's ridiculous, Emma said. That's from like 6 months ago. I was there when she took that photo. So she's posting old pictures and pretending they just got back together? Yep, classic Natalie move. She's probably hoping he'll see it and think people assume they're dating again. I checked Daniel's social media out of curiosity. His most recent post was from yesterday, him with his new girlfriend at what looked like a really nice restaurant. The comments were full of people congratulating them on their anniversary. Daniel's been with someone else for months, I pointed out. Does Natalie not see his posts? She sees them. She just decides they're not real or not serious or going to end soon. She's built this whole fantasy where he's going to come back to her. The delusion was almost impressive in its commitment. 2 days later, Connor sent me a screenshot from a mutual friend. Natalie had posted a long rant on Facebook about betrayal and fake friends, and how some people can't let others be happy. The comments were a mix of support from people who didn't know the real story, and call-outs from people who did. One person wrote, Didn't you literally use Jake to make your ex jealous? How is this betrayal? Natalie's response, That's completely different. Jake and I were barely dating. Emma and I were best friends. The mental gymnastics required to hold both those positions simultaneously was remarkable. Emma handled it all with impressive calm. She didn't engage with the social media posts, didn't respond to the dramatic texts from mutual friends asking what happened. She just lived her life. I learned a long time ago that you can't reason with someone who's rewriting reality to suit their narrative, she told me one night while we were making dinner at my place. Natalie's decided she's the victim here, so nothing I say will change that. About 6 weeks into our relationship, Emma and I were at a local bar with Connor and some other friends when Natalie showed up with her crew. The place wasn't huge, so running into each other was inevitable. I saw her clock us immediately. Her face went through several emotions: surprise, anger, hurt, calculation. Then she plastered on a bright smile and headed our direction with 2 of her friends flanking her. Jake! Emma! What a coincidence! Her voice was loud enough to draw attention. Fancy running into you 2 here. Emma squeezed my hand under the table, but stayed quiet. Hey, Natalie, I said neutrally. I've been meaning to reach out, she continued, ignoring Emma completely. I think we left things in a weird place. I'd love to clear the air. Things seem pretty clear to me. Come on, we were good together. Maybe I was confused before, but I've had time to think and I realize you're actually a great guy. The audacity. She was actually trying to get me back in front of Emma, probably hoping to create drama or make Emma feel insecure. I'm seeing Emma now, I said simply. Natalie's smile tightened. Right, that's still happening. She finally acknowledged Emma with a cold look. How's that working out for you? Stealing your best friend's boyfriend? Emma finally spoke, voice calm. Ex-boyfriend who you told you were only dating to make your ex jealous. Let's be accurate. That's not what happened. That's exactly what happened. I was there when you planned the whole thing, remember? You told me Jake was perfect for making Daniel jealous because he was successful enough to look good in photos, but not exciting enough to actually want long term. I hadn't heard that detail before. The specific calculation behind choosing me as a prop. Natalie's face flushed. You're twisting things. Am I? Because I also remember you saying you'd dump him the second Daniel showed interest. Which part am I twisting? Connor, who'd been watching this exchange with barely contained glee, jumped in. For what it's worth, Daniel's engaged to his girlfriend. Saw the announcement this morning. Congratulations are in order. You could see Natalie's whole world collapse in real time. Her face went pale, then red, then this weird blank expression. That's not true. You're lying. Connor pulled out his phone and showed her the post. Daniel with his girlfriend, both smiling, her hand prominently displaying a ring. The caption talked about forever and new beginnings and all that engagement announcement stuff. Natalie stared at the screen for a long moment. Then she turned and walked out of the bar without another word, her friends scrambling to follow. The table was silent for a beat. Then Connor raised his glass. To dodged bullets and karma. Emma leaned against me, and I could feel her shoulders shaking slightly. She was laughing silently. What's funny? I asked. She spent 3 months using you to make him jealous, lost her best friend, and he got engaged to someone else anyway. Meanwhile, you and I are actually happy. Everyone got exactly what they wanted, just not how they expected. She was right. I'd wanted a real connection with someone who saw me as a person. Emma wanted a partner who appreciated her. Natalie wanted Daniel to come back. Daniel wanted to move on with someone new. Everyone got their wish. The universe had a funny way of delivering exactly what people asked for, even when they weren't ready for it. 3 months later, Emma and I were solid. We'd moved past the drama completely, built something real. Connor had become close friends with both of us, the three of us forming this tight unit. I ran into one of Natalie's friends at a coffee shop one morning. She mentioned that Natalie had moved to Chicago for a fresh start, trying to rebuild after the whole situation fell apart. She asked about you, the friend said. Wanted to know if you and Emma were still together. We are. She said to tell you she's sorry, for what it's worth. I nodded. The apology was probably genuine in its way. People sometimes need to lose everything to realize what they had. But it didn't change anything. Tell her I hope she finds what she's looking for, I said. And I meant it. Not in a bitter way, but in a genuine hope that she'd figure herself out and stop treating people like props in her personal drama. That evening, Emma and I were making dinner at my place. She was chopping vegetables while I handled the pasta, both of us moving around the kitchen in that comfortable way couples develop. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel and help us bring you more and better stories. Thanks.